You read that title correctly. Probably one of my best preview videos. What is up, fans? I got the mother-loving Tom Grossi on the channel to help me preview a very big pivotal game for the Miami Dolphins on prime time on Thanksgiving night. We're going to chat it up. We're going to talk about this. I'm going to pick his brain, and also I'm probably going to give him some love because he is an amazing human being as well as a great content creator. So first, we're going to go to that. Then we got injuries, breakdown, PFF, the usual how you do. But I told you guys that I was going to let you know how you can go about entering yourself for the giveaway for the Tyreek Hill jersey. It will be pinned as the top comment. You go there, name, email address, and you have to be subscribed to the channel. So if you're not subscribed yet and you want to be in the giveaway for the signed Tyreek Hill jersey, which, just to make sure you don't think I'm farting around, I do have, you will be winning this autographed Tyreek Hill jersey. You got to be, hold on, I'm going back. Subscribed, click the link, very first comment pinned as a comment. You click the link and then it'll take you, you give your name, your email address, and then when you win, I will email you saying congratulations. So you'll probably know you won before I announce it to the world. So without further ado, let's go talk with a man that I look up to, and a lot of people say I'm the Miami Dolphin version of, and that's Tom Grossi. I got him. I got the man, the myth, the legend, Tom Grossi. You are an inspiration to me. Some people call me the Miami Dolphin Tom Grossi. So
I'm sorry. That's a low ball. I don't know if is that a compliment that people are throwing around? There's like, you're like the Dolphins Tom Grossi. You know what? I'm glad you're taking that as a compliment. That makes me feel better.
It is 100%. How are you doing, Tom?
I'm doing all right, man.
Short week.
It's short week. It's crazy. It's funny because you talk to people like outside of this like creator bubble that we're in, especially just like super niche football. Everyone's like, oh, I don't got to work. I got this day off and this day off and this. And I was like, all right, it's fine. No complaining. But okay.
So you're live streaming all three games, I'm assuming.
I refuse to do the Cowboys Giants just based off of principle and just tried to maintain any sense of mental sanity that I have. So we're just going to do the two, and then I'm going to do the terrible Black Friday game the day after. So,
oh my God. You know. So I'm assuming you're rooting for the Lions to beat, or the Bears to beat the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, I was rooting for the Bears to beat the Vikings, and look how that worked out. So, you know, that's just how it goes. And how you doing, man? Rocking?
I'm rocking, man. Like you said, short week. People are enjoying their time off. Me and you are over here churning out videos one after another. This is a big game. This is a big game for both teams. You guys coming off red hot, Dolphins coming off a 3-game winning streak. Is there anything about the Dolphins going into this game that worries you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things. I mean, you talk about that momentum, which I think is definitely a thing. And I talked about this like when Tua was out, that it was really difficult to just even evaluate your team. Like I had Dolphins fans asking questions about my team, and I was like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter because I can't judge them when you have backup quarterbacks in, because it's just not the same offense. And you could see the dramatic difference, right? And with having like Tua in these, talk about these last 3 games. There's a few things that worry me. I mean, obviously you have the run game that is terrifying. The Packers were able to contain CMC last week, but CMC has not looked the same since he's gotten back. So that's one. So it's always the run game. And then you also have, you know, a litany of threats at receiver, and Tua really just makes that offense go. So if they're able to get a rhythm going, I mean, they can beat you in numerous ways. That's why that offense is so dangerous. So I think looking at this game, like there are definite concerns. I don't think this could be a walk in the park, you know, for either team. And you just, like you mentioned before, you have 2 hot teams like heading into, you know, last week of November. I think the biggest advantage the Packers have is it's being played at Lambeau. It's going to be at night. It's going to be cold. So that's kind of the thing that I'm hanging my hat on, saying if there's an advantage to be given here, it would just be the weather.
Do you believe that the Dolphins cold weather stigma, or do you think it's just that they've played really good teams in the cold?
No, I don't think it's even I'm honestly not even really thinking about it from that standpoint, because if we were taking it from that, then why are the 49ers kicking our ass every single time they come to
That's true.
Lambeau most of the times, right? Like, so I don't. I think that there are teams that play better in the cold, or they're just a little bit more used to it. But I think it's just a matter of, that offense, the talking about the Dolphins, I think they're able to perform like as they have the warm weather
Yeah.
advantage, right? And that they've, like, you saw the Bills, was that last year, 2 years ago, they came and they were like gassed,
Yes.
just trying to win that game. So I think it makes a difference, but I think it just might slow down that high powered offense. And especially if you're leaning on running the ball, we
Mhm.
know that H. and Mostert can do that. But the good thing is for the Packers that they can utilize Josh Jacobs, so they can hand the ball to 30 times. And you've seen the success he's had this season.
Yeah, that's to me, that's the thing that scares me the most. I agree with what you said before. I think this is going to be like a kind of high scoring game. I don't know if the Dolphins defense is going to be able to stop your offense, and that's what worries me. Talk about your offense a little bit. Josh Jacobs, isn't he like the third best running back in the NFL right now?
Yeah, I mean, so if you talk to fantasy owners, besides like last week, they're not super happy about it. But if we remove ourselves from the fantasy football bubble, yeah, I mean, he is crushing it in yards. He's not Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry right
Mm,
now, but they don't need him to be. I mean, he had
yeah.
a 3 touchdown performance against the 49ers on Sunday, but he's a guy that the reason you brought him in is because he can be the bell cow, in which you
Mhm.
can just cut the workhorse. You just hand him the ball over and over again. And as the temperatures start to drop, that's exactly what you want to do, right? You
Yeah.
want to control time possession. The Packers were dominating it in the second half. And I think that, or I'm sorry, the first half of that 49ers game, and they really closed it out. But I think just looking at that offense, you're going to be looking at Jordan Love to reduce the amount of turnovers, right? He didn't
Mhm.
have an interception last week. So huzzah, that's a good thing. But yeah, you mentioned the Miami defense. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to try and take advantage of that. The Packers' offensive line has been phenomenal this year.
Yeah.
They did a really, really good job keeping Jordan upright and protected. And so if they're able to open up those running lanes and like kind of just able to have that balanced offense, I like their chances. But I am curious on like your defense and like where you think they're at this point, for the Dolphins, because that is, I don't want to say the big unknown, but I
Mhm.
feel like we've seen both sides of the Dolphins defense this year.
Yeah, because we had the good game against the Rams where they shut them out, but then we
Yep.
have the bad games against the Cardinals and the Bills. It's like a crapshoot with them. Chop Robinson's really starting to come into his all. So, we're starting to see a lot of his sack celebration is one of my favorites
That's
where he
right.
just throws the axe down. I
Yeah.
love it. But it's like you said, it's which one are we gonna get? If we get the good defense, so this is gonna be a good game. If we get the bad defense, this might be a one-sided butt whooping. And I don't know if the offense can stick up with them.
Hey, listen, it's gonna be the Joe Barry revenge game.
That's right.
It's
Yes.
Joe Barry as your run defense coordinator and linebackers coach. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Good old Joe coming back. I know Matt LaFleur will be happy about that as he loves him. But yeah, I think that's where I'm starting to give the Packers a little bit of, okay, if they can get the receivers going, Romeo
Mm,
Dobbs, I'd be surprised if he's going to be playing. Jair Alexander, just the way I've been hearing of what's been talked about him, I don't think he's going to play. If
mm.
we can get Edgerrin Cooper, I think that's going to help up the middle, especially, kind of slowing down your run game. But that's always where like my first and foremost concerns are going to be, is starting with running the football, because the Packers have shown year in and year out for decades that it's usually not a great run defense. And while they're not too bad this year, you guys have very capable running backs yourselves.
Yeah, if people don't watch your stuff, which I think is blasphemy, your critique has always been run the ball. Why aren't you running the ball? Why are you
Yeah.
throwing the ball here?
Yeah.
And it's like kind of like a dolphin thing too. Like we'll have Achan have like 5-6 yards of carry, and all of a sudden we're throwing the ball 3-4 downs in a row.
It's a matter of, sometimes the overthinking. And I want to be very clear too, right? Like, I'm not sitting here going, yes, I am the armchair head coach and I know everything about the league and how your team's going to run. I do not hold myself to that high of a regard or standard. But I think it's more of, when it works,
Mhm.
right? And Matt LaFleur has had trouble calling plays like in the red zone. Heading into that Bears game, they were the 29th ranked red zone offense, which is bad. These past 2 weeks, they have been playing better, though. They
Mhm.
have been playing much better in the red zone. They're converting more, they're scoring. And so if they're able to keep up that momentum, I like the Packers here. But like I said, it's, what are we going to get? Are we going to get a slow first half? They've been doing really well on opening drives. Is that going to continue? So yeah, I think just depending on what the Dolphins defense is going to look like is going to determine where this game is going to go and how close it's going to be.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I actually picked the Packers to win. I don't think I don't think the Dolphin defense is going to be. I have a feeling of like that Bills Cardinals game where I think it's going to be high paced. I think both teams are going to score. I don't think the cold is really going to stop the Dolphins too much. And I think I have you guys winning 28-20 or 31-28. It's going to be like one of those games. What do you see this game going like?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think that things are starting to heat up for the Packers, and I think looking at it's just so tough to tell this season, man, because there's a lot of bad football teams, right? Because like even getting hyped about my own team, I was like, all right, we had this little win streak going on. We beat the Bears. It was kind of an ugly game, came down to a blocked field goal. You beat the 49ers. They're not great this season, and they were missing everybody. So it's tough to gauge because all you could do is play in front of you, right? Like you whoop the Patriots. They're not great this year. You whoop the Raiders. They're not great this year. The Rams, I thought, okay, there's something. The Eagles demolished them on Sunday Night Football. So it's tough to get a gauge. For the Packers, I think if they're able to control the clock, if they're able to run the ball effectively and Jordan doesn't turn the ball over and that defense can be as opportunistic as they have been, with the turnovers, they had 3 on Sunday. I think the Packers win. Yeah, I'm thinking I could see like a 31-25 game from the Packers, something like that. We'll see if Tua is able to get things going. Because we didn't get a chance to see Tua against the Packers like in all his glory, because the last time we played, right, like it was on Christmas and he had got like knocked out of that game and came back, and I'm like, Tua, are you good? And throwing interceptions. So I think that we'll see a different game this time. But I think the Packers should be able to take advantage of your defense, and if they're able to do that, I think they win in what is a close game, and they pull away in the fourth quarter. At least that's what I'm telling myself, and it's what I'm hoping for.
Oh, well, we'll see, man. We're both hoping for our teams to pull this one off. I feel like our team needs it more than yours, but we'll see how that all pans out. But Tom, thank you for giving me the time. If you guys don't know, he's on a goal. He's on a mission. 1 million subs. He's getting there.
Let's go.
If you're not subscribed to him already, which if you're following me, you better be. Like, I don't know what you're doing. Go subscribe to him. Go follow him. Do you have anything going on? I know you do a lot of charity work. I know you do a lot of great things. You got anything going on that you want people to know?
Yeah, so right now, I mean, I'm gearing up. So every single December, the week before Christmas, I do an 8-hour charity stream, and we raise a bunch of money for an organization. So I'm finalizing who the organization is going to be this year. We raised over $70,000 last year, $60,000 a year before, and $50,000 a year before. So it's always a great time. So I highly recommend that. It's a day full of streaming with different creators and football and all that great stuff, and it all goes to a great cause. So that's going to be coming up. That's what we're gearing up towards. So besides that and the craziness of football content, that's kind of what we got rolling right now.
For real. Go check him out. Go to that stream. Donate if you can. Help out Tom. He does some great work. He has a series, the scriptwriter series, fantastic with the Strouds and oh my God. He's a fantastic writer as well as comedian and football analyst. Go subscribe to him. Tom, thank you so much for giving me the time, bud.
Thanks for having me, man. Hey, let's go. Hey, best of luck to your team. Just not Thursday. Thursday.
10-7. Dolphins going 10-7.
Perfect.
Absolutely love chatting with Tom Grossi. Great human being. If you're not yet, which is crazy, he's on a journey to get 1 million subscribers before he moves to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Go subscribe to his channel. He is hilarious, does skits, has series. Great guy. Go subscribe. Now let's jump into what we are going to be talking about today. So we're going to look at the injuries. We're going to start with the Green Bay Packers. Now you see here, they are banged up. Jair Alexander did not practice for 2 days. Again, they will be practicing today. So if any news happens, I will make a quick video later tonight. Edrin Cooper, their linebacker, is dealing with a hamstring injury. Romeo Dobbs is dealing with concussion. You have John Fitzpatrick dealing with a back injury. You have Isaiah McDuffie dealing with an ankle injury. And then Xavier McKinney popped up, but not injury related. It was a personal, was not at practice. Outside of that, nothing really there. So again, we can do this for the Green Bay Packers, kind of move them down. You can see my ugly face a little bit more. So they're banged up. They are a little banged up. And then you got the Miami Dolphins here. They're also quite banged up. But again, you see the full on the bottom, so I'm just going to make it look more aesthetically pleasing. Hi. Tron Armstead, knee. He did not participate for 2 days. He will play. I will be shocked if he does not play. Tyus Bowser, knee/calf, he might not go. Kendall Fuller, concussion, he will not go. Tyreek Hill, personal reason, just like their safety, he'll be fine. Anthony Walker with a hamstring, I will be shocked if he doesn't go. And then Calais Campbell get rest. So again, if I were to really show you the Dolphins injuries, it would look more like this. Nah, I took out Anthony Walker by accident. There you go. It would be more like this. And you could take Tyreek Hill out of there. So the only ones that I will be shocked, not shocked that they're not playing, is Anthony Walker Jr. won't go. We'll have Terrell Dotson starting, and Kendall Fuller won't go. And we will have Storm Duck. And Storm Duck has actually been doing really well when targeted, a 71.3 passer rating. Very, very cool to see that. And Isaiah Wynn is active. He'll be the backup to Robert Jones. So there you go. So we're kind of healthy. We're dealing with a cornerback injury here and there. And yes, we do have the whole Shaq Barrett coming back, unretiring. When more news and information comes out of that, I will make a video on that. I'll probably make it after the game, probably during the weekend. So that is your injury report. Let's get into this breakdown because these two teams are kind of evenly matched. I want to start with the Dolphins defense versus their offense. We have the 7th ranked total defense. They have the 5th ranked total offense. We have the 8th ranked pass defense. They have the 11th ranked pass offense. They have the 3rd ranked rushing offense. We have the 9th ranked rushing defense. Now, their rushing offense is really good with that really good back that they have. Scoring defense, we are 11th. They are 8th in scoring offense. Sacks, we're 26th, but that number is going up with getting all the sacks and our pass rush doing their thing, but their sacks allowed is 2nd. They got a very good offensive line. 3rd down defense, we are 6th. 3rd down offense, they are 19th, so they're not too great on 3rd downs. And takeaways, we were 18th, which has gone up with the interceptions that we got from Dotson and the fumbles and all that other stuff. And the giveaways, they are 18th, so they do give the ball away, and I will talk about that in a second. Look at our offense versus their defense. Now, again, these numbers are a little skewed, and we will look at what they were before Tua Tagovailoa came back. Total offense is 20th. Again, before he came back, it was 22nd. Passing offense is 19th. It was 27th before he came back. Rushing offense is 16th. That went down from 11th. Scoring offense is 24. It was 32nd before he came back, so he is helping in those aspects. Sacks allowed, 18th. 3rd down offense is 10th, which is really good. Giveaways is 11th. Would like that to be a little bit better. We are facing the 12th best defense, 10th best passing defense, 13th best rushing defense. Scoring defense is 10th. Sacks is 19th, so they don't tend to get a lot of sacks, but look at the sacks allowed and sacks, both 27. Interesting there. They got a good 3rd down defense in 12th, and takeaways, they are 2nd. They got a little bit of a ball hawking team over there. So this is going to be a very interesting, hard-fought game where these teams are kind of matched very nicely. You see how their defense is ranked, and you see how our offense has been playing, and then you see where our defense is ranked, and you see how their offense has been playing. So it's going to be a very, very tight, interesting game. Let's go into everyone's favorite category, PFF. Bom, 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 bom. So we have here the Green Bay Packers defense versus the Miami Dolphins offense. Now, these grades, I've come to the conclusion, I've been saying this forever, but after seeing Tua Tagovailoa, I just want to show you guys something. I just want to, can I pull up his, I just want to show you guys something real quick, because this made no sense to me. He got a 68.2 offense, a 67.1 PFF passing grade, but he had a 72.5 completion percentage, 317 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And people said, oh, that's because he had the 1 turnover-worthy play. Really going to drop down that from, like, are you kidding me? And if you go to Justin Herbert, who had 1 turnover-worthy play and no big-time throws, he had a higher PFF. It makes no sense to me. It makes 0 sense to me. So again, these PFF grades, they are what they are. We'll look at them and say like, ooh, ah, but I've come to the conclusion that I don't know if I can really trust them. But we look at our offense versus their defense. You know, Kendall Lamb is getting a little bit better, but Brewer and Armstead are our anchors. Jones, if he starts to slip up, Isaiah Wynn will be thrown in there. Eichenberg, you know, it's whatever. Waddle had a day last week. Tyreek Hill is he's there if we need him. Jonnu Smith is becoming a real monster for us at tight end too, has been playing fantastic over the past 5 games, and same with Devon Achane. Our offense is not the problem, and their offense is not what I'm worried about. Now, their defense is good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not looking at their defense laughing. Like, McKinney is a very, very good safety, and he will be playing. Their corners are kind of banged up, like I showed you. Their defensive line isn't bad. They do get forced turnovers. Got a good linebacker in Wilson here. So their defense isn't bad. Obviously, if you're 10th ranked, it's something to be looked at. But I am not worried. I think our offense can move the ball. And this is a situation where it should be like the Raiders game. And I'll get into that a little bit. But then when we flip it, this is where I get a little worried. Because their offense is good. Now, I don't think Dobbs is playing. They have a good tight end. We have a hard time stopping tight ends. Very good right tackle, Jordan Love. Jacobs is a monster. He is the 3rd ranked rushing running back in the NFL. You got to deal with Watson and Reed. Now, Storm Duck, like I showed you, is actually playing really well. Obviously, we know how Jalen Ramsey's playing. Very, very good with Sealer, Campbell, and Chop Robinson. Emmanuel Ogbah's coming in there. Again, if we can get Shaq Barrett, and if he wants to play for us, he would fit in there great. But again, I'll talk about that at a different time. Terrell Dotson playing really well. Brooks playing really well. This is where the question happens, right? Like Poyer, but McMorris is back. McMorris has been activated. If he starts sucking, are they going to throw McMorris in here and have him and Javon Holland be the back? That's where it's getting interesting. But this, to me, is where the battle really is. And this could be a game where we have to consistently answer. I feel like this is going to be like the Buffalo Bills game. And I'll talk about that in a second. So let's flip it back over and let's go into the 5 things that the Miami Dolphins have to do if they want to beat the Green Bay Packers in the cold. It is going to be very frigid. Let me actually pull that up and we can look at weather, because that is now a thing with the Miami Dolphins that we need to look at, because really got to know what's going on with the weather. So here we go. It is going to be it's going to be a cold one. It's gonna be a cold one. This is what it's gonna be like on Thursday. 32 degrees during the day, 19 degrees at night. Considerably cloudy, low of 19 degrees. Winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. 5% chance of snow. It is going to be cold. Now, it's not negative 13 degrees like it was in Kansas City, but it is going to be a cold one. So, again, big game, important game. Let's talk about the 5 things the Dolphins need to do if they want to beat this team. Number 1, and it's not love turnovers, like you should love the turnovers. It's Jordan Love's turnovers. He has thrown an interception, if not once, twice, in one game, 3 times in every single game this year. Last week was the first time he did not throw an interception against the 49ers. Take advantage of that. Have him throw those interceptions, get those turnovers, and then take advantage of the fact of getting an extra possession. Because the more we score, the more we go up, the more their run game disappears, because they have to match our scoring and they won't be running the ball as much. Because that is my biggest fear, is having to deal with Jacobs and having to stop the run. So if we can continue his streak, it ended, but if we could continue a new streak of him throwing turnovers and us forcing turnovers as well, because we had 2 last week with the strip sack and the interception, that can really help us get extra possessions, keep their offense on the sideline, score, go up by scores, and have our defense really pin their ears back and get Chop Robinson in there. Number 2, you got to run that ball. You got to run that ball. I want it to be like the Raiders game. I want long drives. This is the game where you do it. The cold weather games, the end of the year games. These are the teams that you do it against. You're going to be facing this echelon, this caliber of team in the playoffs if we make the playoffs, and you want to keep their offense on the sideline, especially with the defense that is wish-washy. Sometimes they play really well against the Rams. Sometimes they don't play very good at all against the Buffalo Bills, against Arizona Cardinals. So these are games that you want to run the ball, you want to eat up the clock, and you want to continue to just move it down the field, take 8 minutes, have 1 or 2 drives in the first half, go into the half up. Like, that's what you want to see, and that's what we need to see. Now, our run game has been kind of stagnant over the past 2 weeks. Didn't do really great against the Raiders, and didn't do well at all last week. We barely ran the ball, but a lot of it had to do with they were leaving our guys open for us to throw the ball. Going into the half 24-0, I can't really complain, but this is the game. You need to run the ball. Get Ingold involved more. They sat Ingold. They sat Teron Armstead. They sat some of these guys for the simple fact that we got this short week. Take advantage of it and run the ball. Now, should be an obvious. Jacobs is good. He is really good. And you don't want him running all over you all day, because then it is the flip. For a fact the Green Bay Packers are saying to themselves, and their fans are saying to themselves exactly what I just said we need to do to them. They want to keep Tua, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jonnu Smith, Devon Achane. They want to keep them on the sideline. They don't want to have to deal with them. So they're going to run the ball. They're going to eat up the clock. They are going to play playoff-style football in November. They're going to run the ball. We need to stop it. We need to have Calais Campbell. We need to have Sealer. We need to have Dotson. We need to have all these guys attack the ball, have Chop set the edge, play really well, shut down the run game, and force them to become one-dimensional. And then it kind of goes back to number 1, force Jordan Love to throw more interceptions. Number 4 on my list, no mistakes. Again, we are playing a very, very good team. This is probably, if they wouldn't have Detroit in their division, who is just red hot, firing good. What am I saying? They'd be up top. They'd be the number 1 in their division. They're a very good team. So when you play very good teams, you can't have mistakes. And mistakes aren't just turnovers. They're penalties. They're play calling. They're calling timeouts when you don't need to. They're missed field goals. They're all of this. They're drops. Can't have them in this game. I understand it's going to be cold, but you got to catch the ball. You got to make the field goals. The winds, 14-mile-an-hour winds, we'll see how much that affects the kicking and the throwing, but can't have mistakes. You can't give them extra possessions and have our defense on the field longer than they need to, because that's essentially what happened against the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. We gave them an extra downs and extra possessions with interceptions and penalties and punting, and they just ran away with it when our defense was holding them to field goals with no pass rushers. So no mistakes. And my final thing on here, you got to kill those narratives. Cold weather, facing a good team on prime time. All of those narratives are things that the Dolphins deal with. We don't play well in the cold weather games. We don't play well against good teams. We only beat up bad teams, and we play horrible on prime time. Now, I would say that Rams game wasn't horrible, but we got to change those narratives. We got to kill those narratives. We have to show we're not that team, and the team knows it. You hear it. You see it in their interviews. You saw it in the locker room after the Patriots game. They're tired of these narratives. They are tired of hearing this. They're tired of all of this stuff, so they want to kill it as well. They're done with it. Let's go. Let's shut them down, and let's be pissed. They don't want to be considered a soft team anymore. Sean Elliott called them out. Well, now you show them that you're not soft, and you can win in this cold weather game. You can win against a very good team with a very good quarterback and a good running game and a defense that will try to stop us. Kill the narratives. Now, with that being said, what is my prediction for this game? I don't want to be let down. I don't want to get my hopes up. We're 3 in a row. But we're 3 in a row against the Rams. Aren't a bad team. So that was a good game. And we forced them to 5 field goals. When you look at everyone else, and they were scoring on them. Raiders are a bad team. Patriots are a bad team. We destroyed those 2 teams. We played really well against Buffalo. If it wasn't for the end with the mistake from Poyer and them making a 61-yard field goal. And then we played well against Arizona minus the safety. And obviously we had 9 points. And they, scored a touchdown, and then they marched down the field, kicked a field goal. Those 2 games were close games. If not for, the defense just needs to tighten it up a little bit. But this game is so important. This game dictates what this Miami Dolphin team is. This game dictates what we will be for the rest of the season, and are we a playoff team? This game right here will tell me, are we a playoff team? Because we lose this game, then I'm like, we'll beat the Jets. We'll probably beat the 49ers. We'll probably lose to the Browns, lose to the Texans. I don't think we'll make the playoffs. And we'll probably end up like 8-9, 9-8. I think the Packers are really good. And what scares the crap out of me is the defense. I don't know if the defense can stop them. So with that being said, I am actually picking the Green Bay Packers in this one. I would need to be proven wrong. And I'm not going to sit here and be a fanboy and be biased and have my rose-colored glasses on and all that stuff. I'm going to shoot it straight. I'm going to tell you how I feel. This game scares the crap out of me. Their offense scares the crap out of me. Their run game scares the crap out of me. And I have a fear that they're going to take over on offense, and we're going to force to be one-dimensional on our offense, and that's going to bite us in the butt like it has against Tennessee, against Buffalo, and previous years when we needed those games to win. Now, I would love for it to be like the Cowboys game last year where we needed that win and we got it. But I'd rather be surprised than let down, like I said. So I'm very nervous. So I'm going into this game just thinking, hey, play competitive, win, but I'm not expecting it. So I think the Green Bay Packers are going to win, and I think they're going to win like 28-20. I think it might even be like 31-28. I just think our defense won't be able to stop their offense. That's what worries me. And I think it's the back end. I think it's safeties, and I think there's going to be some gaps. I think Cater's going to give up some plays. I think Poyer's going to give up some plays, and it worries me. But I would love to be proven wrong, and I'd love for this team to come out and kill those narratives and win this flipping game. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Am I wrong? I hope I'm wrong. I pray to God that I'm wrong. But comment below. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you later today in the picks video. But like usual, stay classy. Evans up.